Hello, my name is Makenzi Henderson, the host of the I Me podcast, where I want to show girls everywhere that there is no limit to your success. Today we have a very special guest, Judge Kali Morgan, a mother, a judge, and a community advocate. Hello, Judge Kali Morgan. How
Hi,
are you?
I'm wonderful, Mackenzie. How are you? Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm well. Thank you so much for coming. So, my first question for you is what inspired you to get into law?
Oh my goodness. And so, people ask me that question all the time, and I've come to learn over the years that a seed was planted when I was a little girl. You hear that all the time and you don't realize it. Growing up, people would always tell me, you know what, you should be an attorney. You talk so much, always asking questions. You're going to be a lawyer when you grow up. I would hear that all the time, but I really didn't have an understanding of what an attorney even was until I got older. Once I realized what a lawyer was, it was kind of like, okay, well, everybody has always told me that I'm going to be an attorney, so that's what I'll do. There was a time when, and we probably talk about that later because I saw some of the questions that you're going to ask me, where I entertained the thought of becoming a teacher for a little while. But once I made up my mind that, okay, there was a famous pretty lawyer on TV that I had exposure to as a young girl. And I thought, okay, that's what an attorney is. I want to be like her. She seems like she has it going on. And so that was my initial motivation. Of course, things happened later in life that guided me in different directions. But initially, that seed that was planted in me as a child is what kind of propelled me into that direction.
Wait, was it Claire
It
Huxtable?
was Claire Huxtable.
I knew it.
It
I knew.
was Claire. It was Claire Huxtable, and I joke all the time. When I'm at work, even before I became a judge, when I'm at work, I'm in my professional, I'm in my attorney mode. I'm always like, okay, let me get into Claire mode. So I say that all the time. Like, what would Claire do? It's an inside joke with myself. Like, what would Claire do in this situation? And so it was Claire Huxtable, and I thought, okay, like she's bad. She has it going on. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's a lawyer. Sign me up. I can do that.
Yeah, I feel like that was what the show was made for in general, just to inspire
Yeah.
Black people to do great things and show them that it is possible.
And it certainly did, at least for me. So that was my initial introduction into this is an attorney. Okay, I get the gist of it. And then of course over the years you learn more, and different life experiences shaped my path even more. But that's how it started. That's how it started.
That's really cool. How did you navigate your journey through college, especially considering your status as a first generation college student?
So, like I said, I've always been the type of person that I don't take no for an answer. There's always an answer. I'm going to keep asking questions until I figure it out. And so I didn't know anything about college. I just knew that I need to go to college because I knew I wanted to be an attorney and I knew the steps that I had to take. And so I just really figured it out. My high school counselor, I asked a lot of questions and
Mhm.
really just going up to the campuses. Back this is a long time ago. So back then, you could send off and they would mail you information and mail you brochures and do things like that. And I just really would figure it out. I literally showed up to U of H, 18 years old. I had really no idea of what to even expect. But okay, I knew that, okay, I need to do this. So let me go and talk to this person and ask a question. And I was that student. I would literally stop people on campus and say, hey, do you work here? Can you help me figure this out? People are always usually willing to help. And I just really learned kind of by doing. In hindsight, that is crazy, but that was my journey. That's what I had to do, and so I just woke up every day determined. I knew what the end goal would be or what I wanted it to be. I was determined to make it happen. And if I didn't know, I asked until I figured it out and just got it done. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, never be afraid to ask questions because
No, sure.
one question can get you so far.
And I found, and I'm always telling people, if you have a question, ask me, call me. I'm always open to it because people are usually willing to help you, especially when you're young and you're trying to figure things out. Just stop a professor on campus and say, hey, can I ask you a question? I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. you'll meet so many people who will go on to mentor you, and they'll give you their email addresses, they'll give you their phone numbers, and they'll say, hey, well, call me if you can't get it out. We'll figure, if you can't figure it out, we'll figure this out together. And so people were just willing to help me, and so I got a lot of help that way, and I'm so thankful for it.
Yes, that's really true. I'm glad that you asked
Yeah, for sure.
questions.
For sure. Me too.
Can you share some insights into your experience at the University of Houston for your undergraduate degree?
Okay, and what were, as far as my experience just on campus or academically, socially, all of the above?
I would say all of the above, but mostly academically.
Okay, so U of H, first of all, is an excellent school, excellent programs, many different colleges. Whatever your major is, I think that you will find a suitable school at U of H. U of H is a beautiful campus. U of H is diverse. As you can tell, I love my college. I had a wonderful experience there. Now, mind you, Mackenzie, I was in college a long time ago. Where we didn't have as many advances in technology that are available now. We used to have to do stuff like go to the library and check out books and, do stuff the old fashioned way. But U of H was an amazing school. I had all the resources that I needed there. Again, you just have to take advantage of the opportunities as they are available to you because it is there. The opportunities are there. Academically, I feel that I was exposed to a lot. I was challenged at U of H. I came to college thinking that, I'm super smart. This will be a cakewalk for me. But I found that U of H was extremely challenging, more challenging than I expected. And so I think anyone who goes, into higher education, no matter how smart you are in high school, no matter what your class rank is, you need to know that there are a lot of people on that college campus who are just as smart as you, who rank just as high as you, and professors who are going to challenge you. It makes you stronger in the end. And so just being challenged, that was unexpected, but I did have amazing opportunities at U of H. I learned a lot academically. I learned a lot about myself at U of H, and it all just molded me for that next step of going to law school.
Yes, I could see that. Everybody who went to U of H tells me it was so hard. I know my mom went there and she was like, U of H is not easy.
It's not, and I don't know. I don't know why there's that misconception, or at least it used to be like, oh, okay, you go. Maybe because it's a local school.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, but I can tell you that I definitely was challenged. I got a reality check at U of H. When some of those first year grades came out, I was like, wait, hold on. I have never. Are you sure this is me? What are we talking about here? I don't get it. And so the professors, they didn't play with us at U of H. There were a lot of professors who were there and they were willing to mentor and help you, but they did not make it easy. And in hindsight, all these, I'm not going to tell my age, but it's been a long, long time later. I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad that they didn't make it easy.
Yeah.
So if you're in college and it's hard, just know that one day you'll look back and you will be thankful that it was hard. You'll be thankful for the
Yes,
challenges.
I bet. What challenges do you face during your college years and how do you overcome them? So, for this question, it's more of a social aspect.
Okay, so socially, one, I guess if you consider it a not necessarily a challenge per se, but one of my biggest challenges in college was paying for college money,
Mhm.
financial. And so I worked as much as I could during college. And so if you're asking about socially, I guess if you consider it a challenge, I wasn't able. I had a great social life at U of H. I was in a sorority. I was in many organizations on campus. Had a wonderful time in college. However, I did have to work because I had to pay for school. I had to buy books. Life goes on whether you're a student or not. And so there was a lot that I missed. I wasn't able to live on campus. That's something that I really wanted to do. I just didn't get the opportunity to do that. So I missed out on that dorm campus living experience. Had to be at work a lot, missed out on a lot because I had to go to work because you have to pay for things. And so I mean it felt like a challenge at the time because I wasn't able to socially do everything that I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. But it wasn't really a challenge because there's always time. There's 24 hours in a day, so there's still time to for academics. There's time for a social life. You just have to know how to schedule, and you have to know how to plan, and you just have to know how to prioritize things that are important. You can
Yeah, that's
if
true.
you consider that a challenge. It was a challenge for me at the time. At that age, I felt like that was a challenge for me. Now I'm like, okay, girl, like you are.
Yeah, looking back, it might seem like more of a sacrifice that you
It
have to.
was so. It was definitely that's a good word. It was definitely a sacrifice. I definitely sacrificed a lot. Um, but again, when you have a goal, that's just what it takes sometimes, and that never changes. Even at this age, there's always going to be things that you have to sacrifice in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve in life. So I guess, the younger you are when you learn that lesson, maybe the better off you'll be because there will
Hmm.
always be sacrifices to some extent.
Yes, that's very true.
Hmm.
For the next question, I want to know a little bit about whenever you're working, do you ever allow your personal biases to intervene with your work?
Never. That's something that I pride myself on. Never. It's one thing to have cultural understanding, social understanding, to know how to navigate and how people's thought processes. But with the job that I do, I don't ever allow my personal feelings to get in the way. I totally put that to the side and make every decision that I make is just based on what I'm hearing from the people in front of me. I may have a thought, but it doesn't translate into the decision that is made in my case. So I do not do that, and that's something that I've always prided myself on. When I'm at work, I'm at work, and all that matters is what's going on in front of me at that moment, and that's just it. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like that may be the hardest part about being a judge
Hmm.
or anything in that field because you that can be really easy to think something and let it affect how you judge the case.
It can be, and sometimes people will, whether it's an attorney or a party who's self-represented, sometimes they'll try, and I just kind of laugh in my head and I think I don't care about that. They'll say something, if say for example, someone on the other side of the case, there's a text message or something of them maybe making a racist remark.
Yeah.
They can't wait to show that to me. They want to show it to me because I guess they think that I'm going to react to it, but I don't. I see it and I think like, okay, I see it. That's messed up that that person said something like that. But I mean, as far as this case, I'm not worried about that. And I've told people, how is that relevant? I'll ask
Yes,
them,
that part.
how is that relevant? Because I know that you're just bringing it up, trying to, I don't know, trying to influence me in some kind of way. It's not going to happen. Like, just let's move on. I've been an attorney for, gosh, what, 20, almost 20 years. And so I've done this for
Wow.
a very long time. I'm so far beyond that to where it doesn't even affect me at this point.
That's good.
Yeah.
What motivated you to pursue a law degree from Thurgood Marshall School of Law at TSU?
So I actually, a lot of people don't know, I actually didn't start off at Thurgood.
Mm.
I went to South Texas College of Law my first year of law school. I applied to several schools. And, you just, when you're applying to law school, you just don't know because everyone has their own criteria. And then you see people who you think are, they test better than you, they're smarter than you, and then they don't get in. And it's such a stressful process. And so I applied to multiple schools. I ended up going to South Texas first, and then I transferred my second year to Thurgood. And it wasn't until I transferred to Thurgood that I realized that I should have been at Thurgood all along. There was
Mm.
just a sense of I'm home. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. Just to be around so many like-minded, um, intelligent people, and I'm so thankful for Thurgood because those professors, again, here we go back to the being challenged again. Everybody's gonna be watching this like she's just scared me away from U of H and Thurgood. But these are positive. These are positives. Okay, these are not negatives. But those professors did not play with us, and they If you went to Thurgood, they did not play around with us, and they really, it's like the school of hard knocks. You're going to learn, but they teach you how to navigate this very complicated legal world that we live in, and this courthouse system that we have to be a part of. And they really prepare you for that, to the point where if I even see someone, an attorney, doing something that I think is odd or inappropriate, the first thing I say is, I know they didn't go to Thurgood. Like, there's no way you went to Thurgood and you're in here doing that. Because I know you know better than that, because they teach us for that. And so just to have that HBCU experience, U of H is really diverse, and there are these subgroups, and you can almost feel like you have that HBCU experience sometimes. At U of H, it's not a true it's not an HBCU, although
Yeah.
it does. It can feel like it, but just to have that experience, and to be pursuing something that I love, and to be in such a challenging environment, and to just feel like I belong here, like it's indescribable. I'm so thankful for my experience at Thurgood. I really, really am.
That's really good. I was going to say that too. People can think that something is challenging at first, but it is going to prepare you, and you can't let something like that discourage you from
Mhm.
chasing your dreams because you want to be the best at what you do.
And you know what? You're right. And life is challenging in general. I don't. You're never going to stop having challenges. So if you give up because it's hard, you're never going to accomplish anything, because no matter what you're doing, you will be faced with obstacles along the way. And so you just have to embrace your challenges. You have to learn how to navigate through them, get over them, get under them, go around them. You just have to kind of figure it out. But these are like life skills, like, that are developing you along your path, and it's all for a reason. You get older in life, and you realize you handle challenges with ease. You don't get as stressed out all the time as you used to. You just kind of learn to roll with the punches. And so these are really like invaluable experiences that I think that we all need, whether you get it academically, however, you're going to need those types of skills to navigate life. I really do believe that.
Exactly. That's completely true. As a family law judge, what are some of the common misconceptions that people have about your profession?
Oh my gosh, Mackenzie, we could talk all night about that. When I saw that question, I said, "Oh no, okay, I'm gonna have to rein it in on that one, and just maybe think of one or two examples." And so the first thing that stands out, anytime you hear about family court, I hear all the time, people just think that if you're female or the mother, they just get whatever they want, and it's biased, and it's unfair towards dads, it's unfair towards the grandparents, and it's all about mom. Like, I that's the one that I hear the most. And it's just frankly not true. I think that there was a time many years ago, where there were judges on the bench who had those types of biases. Like, kids belong with mom, a dad can't raise a child. There were judges who, I mean, I'll be real with you. There were courts where that's the way that it was. We're in 2024 now. A lot has changed, and I
Yeah.
think that we have a lot of we have a lot, and it may still be that way. Maybe, I'm sure there are, places here and there where that's kind of still the culture, but I think
Mhm.
now we have more judges who are more forward thinking, and who don't have those preconceived notions, and who are really trying, and myself included, to make sure that everything is fair, and to make sure that everyone has a fair chance. That's the one, and that's the one that hurts me when I hear about it, because I want to tell everyone, well, I'm not like that. My court is not like that. I know so and so, she's not like that. But people just think that in general they don't trust the court system, um, especially family court. They think that somehow family judges are in on this um, conspiracy, or to defraud people, or whatever it is that they believe that is happening in the court system. And I can at least speak for myself when I say that that couldn't be further from the truth. Nothing like that
Yeah.
happening at all. And I always invite people to just come. The courtrooms are open. You can always come down and see. The doors are always unlocked. If I'm in court, the doors are open, and people are always welcome to come in and just watch. And so people who are not trustful of the system, or who don't believe, when I say it's not like that in the 505th, or it's not like that here, come down and see for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. Come down anytime, and just watch. And I think that if anyone is willing to do that, then I think that they'll see um, that things have are indeed changing.
Yeah, and I feel like there could be so many unique cases with the way that our society is
Yeah,
today where that wouldn't even be possible in every single case.
it would not even be possible. And I can tell you, you're absolutely right. Every case is different. Before I became a judge, I was an attorney for Child Protective Services for many years, and I have seen the worst. Honestly, I've seen the worst in everyone. So I don't have any type of opinion on if mom, dad, grandma, it's just case by case depending on what's going on in that specific case. In some cases, it'll be this way. In another case, it'll be that way. And that's just the way it is. But there are some, and I understand, I acknowledge that there probably are still some courts that um, maybe that judge has been on the bench a very, very long time, and maybe their ways of thinking haven't progressed as much as others. And so I do acknowledge that that probably happens, but hopefully it's happening less and less these days.
Yeah. I do have another question. I know you said that you worked in child protective services, so I was wondering what motivated you to go in that specific field.
Because it's family law, so I've always worked in family law, in one capacity or another. And it just came about a time that I was in private practice for many years, and then I started working with the state. And, I wanted to remain with the state because I do enjoy what I do. And it was an opportunity. It was another family law opportunity. There was a position available at a time when I was looking for a change in my career, but not really. I wanted to do something different, but not too different. I still wanted to be a state employee. I still wanted to practice family law in some capacity. And it's just I saw the position at the right time, and I thought, okay, this is for me. I can practice family law. I can make sure that our kids are safe and do all the things that I'm trained to do and that I'm passionate about, and still maintain my state employment. And so it was just the perfect position for me at the right time.
Okay. Could you describe your approach to ensuring fairness in your decision as a judge, particularly in emotionally charged cases?
So again, I'm a family court judge. So most of my cases are emotionally charged to some extent, some more than others. But it's different it's so different being a judge versus being an attorney. Even as an attorney, you're so caught up sometimes in what your client, you're trying to advocate for your client. And sometimes your emotions get the best of you and wanting to win and wanting to
Yeah.
do a good job and make sure that your client gets what they want and what you feel like they deserve. And so even as an attorney, sometimes your emotions can get in the way. But as a judge, that's not my job. That's not my job to have any type of emotions. Of course, I care about making sure that I make the best decision, and I care about what happens to these kids, at the end of the day. But I am on the outside looking in.
Mhm.
It's not my relationship. I don't have, I'm not emotionally invested like, of course, the litigants are or their attorneys are. And so it's easier for me to sit back and be objective and just really consider what everyone is saying. And
Mhm.
I'm not emotionally involved. And so you take emotion out of it and just look at the facts of the case. That's what makes it easy for me to make the decisions that I make. And because people are so emotional, sometimes they don't understand well why I made that decision. But because I care, but I'm not, I'm not, I'm here and you're here. And so I can hear and see things that other people are not processing. Because, and I get it because it's your life and this is your circumstances and this is what you're going through. But because I am not in it that way, it's easier for me to just step back and be unbiased and make a decision just based on the evidence in front of me and nothing else.
Yeah, that makes, whenever you put it that way, it makes a lot more sense because whenever I think of judges, I feel like if I was a judge, I would get so sad on every case. Like, oh my God, this really happened to you. But whenever you put it like that, it is easier to make an unbiased decision.
It is, and again, when you've been in family law so long, especially working in, CPS court, I have seen so much. I mean, there's not enough time to even discuss. I don't get sad, and there are things that are sad. There are things that I have seen that it is sad, and I don't like it. And on the inside, I feel like, oh my gosh, that poor baby. I can't believe it. I'm human. I do have those thoughts, but I know what my job is, and so my job is to make sure that this child is okay. Like this is
Yeah.
really sad what you're going through, and it is sad, but I can't be up there crying. Um, now, how do I look? If I'm crying and I'm upset, and I'm like, somebody has to, who is going to make the decision here? Like, this judge is a mess.
Yeah.
You can't be up there boohoo crying either. Like, you're not helping anybody in that situation. So, recognizing, of course, I'm a human being. I'm a mom. I get it. Like, so when things happen, I get uncomfortable. I don't like it. I have feelings that I internalize,
Mhm.
because I don't show any of that on the outside. I internalize any emotion that I may be feeling, but I know what my job is, and I know what I'm there to do, and so I just don't let that type of stuff get in the way.
That's good. Being a judge is a very demanding job. How do you keep your mental health intact while working?
Prayer,
Mhm.
prayer, and much prayer. You probably can't see around my office right now, but I have scriptures up here and there, just kind of keeping me grounded. And it's also just important. People always talk about, well, your self care. Self care, and self care is important. There are nights when I'm at the courthouse all night, to where my family, they're calling me like, "Are you okay? We're just calling to see if you're still alive. Are you coming home?" And then there are some days when I realize that I'm just tapped out. I'm out of gas. I need to go home, or I need to go and decompress and do something else. And so it's just finding that balance, and that looks different every day. There's no magic formula that do this and this. Every day is different. There may be a day where maybe self care is just riding home, listening to your favorite music, or no music at all, or maybe going to work out, or maybe reading a book, or maybe just sitting somewhere in silence and not talking to anyone. It's different every day, but you do have to find opportunities to kind of just unplug. I have three daughters who are, they don't care that I'm a judge. Like, Mama, what time you coming home? Can I get my hair done Friday? Can I get some more screen time? They don't care anything about what I'm doing during the day, and so I still have to, I'm still mom at the end of the day, like other working moms, and so I do have to unplug from this, and make sure that my family is okay. But it's a balance, and I have to tell you, Mackenzie, it's a struggle sometimes to find that balance, and it's you have to be very intentional. You have to be very intentional about it. And there are days where I don't take care of myself. It happens. I try not to do that, but it happens. And then I just try to make up for it maybe the next day.
Yeah.
It's just
Being a judge seems like a very selfless job. Like every day, it seems like you guys are doing something for the community or doing something to help other people. So I always think about that. Like, when do they have time for themselves?
you have to just make time. You
Hmm.
have to carve out that time, even if it means like putting it on your calendar. Okay, so Saturday from this to this. I'm not. I have to put my personal time sometimes on my calendar. Like, okay, Saturday I don't have any activities. My kids don't have any activities. I'm going to put my phone on do not disturb and watch Netflix. And I look forward to that all week. And so, whatever it may be. And sometimes it is that. Sometimes that's what I'm shooting for at the end of the week. Like Saturday, the phone is going on Do Not Disturb. I get to binge watch Netflix all day, and I can't wait. And so I grind it out all week, knowing that this is what I get to do at the end of the week. And again, every day is different. You just sometimes that self care may happen on a Monday night, or sometimes it may not happen when you expect it. But you have to there's a lot, when you're an elected official in general. I wouldn't even say just a judge. I mean,
Hmm.
if I showed you how many invitations I get to, can you come and do this? Can you come here? Come here. I mean, I could really be somewhere every day. and there are elected officials. I feel like they're somewhere every day, but
Wow.
again, I'm a mom, and my kids are like, no, ma'am, so I do what I can, but if you don't see me, um, my kids are, they're not. We were in cheer, and now we're in track, and then we have dance, and we have other organizations that we're in. And we have a lot going on, and so I cannot be everywhere at the same time. I do what I can, but I have to take care of my family too, and it's just finding that balance is really important.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Always make time for family.
Hmm.
Fort Bend is one of the most diverse districts, and you being one of, well, the first Black family law judge in the county, how do you feel like this is a significant milestone?
It's so significant, and I feel like it was so long overdue. I'm so glad that the um, courthouse is starting to reflect the community
Hmm.
that the courthouse sits in. I can tell you that as exciting as it is, I I feel I understand. I wouldn't say pressure because I don't feel necessarily pressure, but I do. I'm aware that kind of like the spotlight is on me. The door has been open for me. What is she going to do? What type of judge will she be? How is her demeanor? Is she smart? Does she know what's going on? And I know that if I don't show up every day and do my very best and do what it is that I have been elected to do, I will make it so much harder for the next Black woman who wants to be a judge to come behind me. So I am aware of that I need to go out here, and for the people that voted for me, for the people that supported me, even for the ones that didn't, I'm going to go do the very best job that I can do every day. And I know that, girl, if you mess this up, I'm not just messing it up for myself.
Yeah.
I may be messing it up for others who may want to follow in my footsteps. And so I am aware of that, which is why I do work so hard, because I know that whether I intend to or not, I know who I represent. And there are people who are going to judge every other Black judge or every other Black attorney or every other young Black woman, everybody who went to Thurgood, every AKA, every, you name it,
Hmm.
by what they see me doing. Whether I like it or not, that just kind of, it comes with the territory. So I am aware of that. And so I'm just very mindful of how I carry myself. I'm very mindful of how my court is run, and I just really try. My court staff, think we do a really I think we're doing what we're supposed to do, and I think we're doing what we were put in office to do. But it is something that I'm aware of on a daily basis.
Yes, and I agree whenever you say that it's long overdue because whenever I went to the field trip for to look at the office,
Mhm.
I had no clue that you guys were the first. I was like, I was looking, is this real? Is this actually real? That didn't make any sense
Crazy
to
that
me.
in 2018, 2020, you're still having first. Like,
That would never make sense to me
it,
because I know that there's so many Black people who are capable of doing these things, but a
yeah.
lot of people are set back.
And I think a lot of people were maybe just kind of, it's running for office is really hard. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to put yourself out there because you open yourself up to so much criticism. There's a lot of support, there's a lot of criticism, and it's you have to develop a thick skin, and it's not easy. And so I think that if people just I can understand the hesitation and wanting to get out there and do it, but it was long. It was definitely long overdue, and it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there and do it. And hopefully, we just keep knocking down barriers, and one day, nobody will be able to say, "Hey, I was the first to do this or the first to do that," but we are yet still having first, even in 2024.
Yes, we are.
Still the first, still the first. But
But you will inspire many just like Claire Huxtable.
oh, thank you. That means knowing what Claire meant to me. That means a lot. I'm telling you, I'm always talking about. I just joke. It's a joke I say to myself, like, what would Claire? How would Claire handle this? And so, you're like, what would Claire do? Or if I have to, if I feel like I have to get a little forceful with someone, I'll say, okay, I'm about to go Claire Huxtable on them in a minute. I always joke like that, but she was, fictional character. Yet, I don't even know when they when they wrote that character, if they realize how inspirational she will be. But for
Yeah.
sure, as a fixture of class and professionalism and intelligence, that's can't she can't be beat. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, she was a really good role model.
I agree. I agree. Didn't even realize it really until I got older and looked back. So you just never know where your influences in life will come from. Things, conversations that you may have, people that you may meet may not mean much to you at the time, and then one day you'll look back and you'll say, "Oh wow, okay, I didn't even realize. I didn't see how that this was all being put together until years later." So yeah,
Yeah,
thank you, thank you.
that's really cool. You're welcome. You seem very driven and focused. Do you have any mentors or sources of inspiration that help shape your career path besides Claire?
Yeah, so I've always, like I said, I'm always asking questions, whether it be a professor or when I became a new attorney, what I would do during my free time, because I had a lot of free time because I didn't have that many clients because I was brand new. I
Mhm.
would go to the courthouse and just sit. I would spend whole days at the courthouse, just going from court to court, depending on what they had going on, just watching. And when there were attorneys who I felt like, oh my gosh, like this one did a great job right here, or, I would go up to them afterwards. I would wait for them to leave. I would follow them out in the hallway and introduce myself. So I'm a new lawyer. I was just, I saw you in there. I thought you did a great job. Do you have a card? Do you mind if I email you sometimes if I just have a question? I'm telling you, when you approach people like that, first of all, you have flattered them. So they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, of course. Eve, call me anytime. And it got to the point where sometimes they would reach out to me and say, hey, FYI, I have a trial coming up on custody. I have this going on. And if I was available, I would go and just watch. So I met a lot of people that way, especially if it was a Black attorney.
Mhm.
There are a few, and I don't want to name them because if I miss someone, I don't need anyone texting me like, no, you didn't. You didn't tell me. You know who you are, though, who I kind of leaned on as well, and who were very helpful to me and just kind of showing me the ropes and how to navigate um, the family court system as it was, back in the early 2000s when I first got licensed. It has changed so much from what it used to be. But as far as mentors, I have a lot of attorneys who I looked up to, who helped me in one way or another. If it was just, you know, speaking at a conference and teaching me something, or inviting me to watch a trial or something that they were having, or just answering one of my questions. And sometimes I'll be afraid to ask, like that's a stupid question, I should know that. But people are so willing to help you. And we just have to get away from ourselves and our pride and not wanting to ask questions. Forget about that. Go ask. There's no, like they say, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So I've met a lot of people who I would probably consider mentors in this family law world for sure. That helped me along the way. So many of them.
Yes, I feel like it does more harm to you to not ask. I always because I've never been too shy to ask a question or ask somebody for help because you never know where that could lead you.
You never know, and you cannot have so much pride. I would never, sit and act like I know everything, and I don't do that now as a judge. You know, I'm not here because I feel like I know everything. And I will
Yeah.
tell you, I have all my books and materials on the bench. I have a set in my office. I have a set at home. And I'll tell attorneys, hold on, let me look. Hold on. Just let me, I'm not gonna sit there and just act like I know. I'm the all knowing. And no, if I don't know, I'll tell them, hold on 1 second, let me read that or let me find out. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be comfortable, and it's not a knock against you because you had a question or you didn't know something. And I think that people, we just kind of live in a society where people are, they putting on that, we all have it all together, and
Yeah.
and you can still have it going on and still not know everything. So it's
That
okay to have questions. You can have it going on and still have a few questions from time to time, and that's okay. That's okay.
well, with that being said, I actually have a question
Okay.
about
Well, here we
attorney.
go. Okay.
So, how do you build your clientele as an attorney, and how do you still get paid if you don't get any clients?
So if you are in private practice and you are
Mhm.
self-employed and you do not have any clients, then no. You will not get paid.
Okay.
Now, if you work for a law firm or a government agency, or that's different. Then you're likely on salary. Well, okay, I know some law firms, they operate on a not necessarily salary, so I won't get into all of that. But just say you're an attorney for a government agency, you're going to have clients, but even if it's slow, whether you're busy, whether you're not doing much, you'll get a salary and you'll get paid. If you are a solo practitioner and you're the law office of Khalid Morgan and you don't have clients, I don't know what to tell you. So the best way to build your clientele is to advertise and to do a good job when you go to court. Do the best
Mhm.
job that you can when you go to court. When I started, I remember this was like, I got to think back, to the Stone Ages. I would put advertisements in like the green sheet, like a newspaper, because people actually read those. People actually looked at that kind of stuff back then. We had our websites, but it just wasn't as much online marketing as it is now. I think it's much easier now, but you have to advertise, word of mouth, your alumni associations, let people know what type of law you practice. Advertise,
Mhm.
put your business out there so that when people are thinking, hey, I need someone to handle this for me or do that for me, that your name comes to mind. Networking functions are awesome ways to meet people. And then if you're an attorney and you're a new lawyer starting out and you're looking to build a reputation for yourself or get to know people, volunteer. And it sounds, why would I volunteer and work for free when I don't have any money as it is? Well, you can take a few pro bono cases through like Legal Aid, Houston Volunteer Lawyers, or a society like that, because you get that experience. And then the more you're in court gaining your experience, now other lawyers are seeing you, judges are seeing you. And when I've had people that come in my court and they've done a great job, and I'll tell my coordinator, I'll say, hey, email that person and ask him or her if they want to be on my wheel for court appointments. Now those pay. So because you came in here and you did a good job, do you want to be on my wheel? Would you like to be considered for court appointments? I don't ask them, but I'll have my court coordinator ask. And so now you're getting appointed on cases, and now you're making money, and now so it's just kind of like a snowball domino effect. But advertising, advertising, advertising. There's no excuse in this day of social media not to be out there in everybody's face because it's so easy. It's so easy to get to
Exactly.
so many people
You know who does the best at advertising for law?
who,
Those car law.
oh, that, yeah, oh,
They do so good. Like they never stop.
they never stop. And you know what? As soon as somebody has a wreck, who you think of? Then you're gonna call one of them.
Hmm.
I see a lot. I see family lawyers, trying to do it too. And so you just have to put yourself out there. There, social media people are, they have I'm the blank attorney. I'm the child support lawyer. I'm the whatever. They have their little catchphrases and taglines. But what they're doing is they're trying to put that label on themselves so that when people think of, I need someone for divorce, I need someone for child support, I need someone for this, they automatically think to call that person. So just advertising. I have a list of classmates from law school. If somebody needs a bankruptcy lawyer, a criminal defense attorney, or this or that, there are people that I think of that I went to school with. And so staying in touch with your classmates and your alumni association, that's important too, because we help each other and we'll refer business to each other. Well, back when I was an attorney, that's how that worked. So those are the best
That
ways.
makes, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure. But yes, if you are in private practice and you have no clients, you need to be working on getting some clients because you will.
Well, that could be a good and bad thing because you can work as much or as little as you want,
Yeah,
right?
yep. And you have to make sure that you get paid and that you're getting paid your worth and that you're not. And that's hard in the beginning, and that takes some years to kind of learn the ropes because you will do. A new lawyer will do so much free work. It's ridiculous because you don't know what you're worth and you don't necessarily know what to charge. And I look back at how cheap I used to be in the beginning, and I just can't even believe. Like, no wonder you weren't getting paid, girl. Like, I can't believe you were doing what for what price, because you don't know, you don't know, you're just out there just trying to make whatever money you can, and it's just something that you just learn over the years. But it's just, again, it's you live and you learn, and then you go through it and you get through it, and then now
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
But if you're a lawyer, Ask an attorney to go sit in and tell you what your worth is.
Ask someone, please. I just, there is nothing wrong. And it's hard with lawyers because, myself included, you want to come off as, I'm bad and I know it and I'm about to chew you up and we go to court and I got it going on. And, and I get it. You have to have a certain swag about yourself. You've been paid. You want to impress your client. You want to somewhat intimidate the other lawyer if you can. So there's a lot of all that personality and all that stuff going on, but do not be too proud. You can do all of that, but then when you walk out the courthouse, get on your phone and call somebody and ask and make sure you know what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to be overly confident and dead wrong at the same time. That's a bad combination,
Yeah, that doesn't
Bad
sound.
combination, cocky and wrong. So don't do that. It's okay to, it's okay to be like that, but just make sure that you are on point and you know what's going on as well. And if you do not know, it is better to ask than to embarrass yourself in court in front of not only the judge, but all the other attorneys that are in there watching. The judge is not going to say anything about you. Those lawyers, they will. So it's always better to just ask. And when in doubt, ask the judge. You can't ask a judge about like your case. That's not what
Hmm.
I want to do. Like you can't come up and talk about a case, but just in general. And I used to do that too. Like, hey, just in general. Um, Not talking about any case in particular, but if you're filing this type of case, what are some of the things that you look for? You can ask judges questions like that, and they always answered my questions. Even the judges that I thought were mean, they would still answer my questions. So now I'm a nice judge, So just come and ask. Come and ask. There's no stupid questions. I'd rather you come and ask me than to have to deny your client, you know, what you feel like they were entitled to because you made some mistakes and didn't quite do what you needed to do.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's one of the hardest parts of my job is when I feel like a person should be getting what they're asking for. Sometimes maybe the lawyer didn't do something that they were supposed to do. And my job
Mm.
is to follow the law. The law says if you don't do this, then this. And that's what my job is. And so now I have to say, well, I'm sorry, that's denied. When I felt like, oh my God, like, gosh, because of something that wasn't their fault, it was maybe the attorney didn't do it. Those cases are really hard. I hate when that happens. I hate
Dang.
those
That's
moments.
not good.
I hate those moments. And when I step down and come to the back, I just sometimes I'm just really upset. Like I hate that I had to do that. I really do. But this is what my job is, and so
Mhm.
I have to do my job. And sometimes doing my job does not feel good on the inside, but I still have to do it. I still have to do it.
That's true. That's really messed up. Do you ever
Yes.
do you ever tell them, the lawyers, that they messed up?
No, because we can't really talk about the cases. But sometimes when I'm making my decision, I will give hints.
Mm.
Sometimes I'll say, well, I didn't, this wasn't done. This didn't happen. This didn't do this. So, sometimes I do that because I'm trying to let people know, like, I don't, it wasn't you, like
Yeah.
you didn't necessarily do anything wrong. And that's just unfortunate when that happens because had that attorney maybe just would have asked a question of someone and you would have known what to do or just gosh, it's something so simple, but there are circumstances in family court where if this isn't done and this isn't done, and I have to say no.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what is going on, I have to deny it. And I hate it. I hate it. My court staff will tell you I hate it. I walk off and I'm like mad. Like I cannot believe I had to do that. Like I don't I feel like the person maybe will leave thinking that she didn't care. I can't believe I do care. I'm probably just as mad as you are in the back. I can't when I get to the back, I can't show that in the courtroom, but I hate that I had to do that. And I know that it's not your
Yeah.
fault, but I have got to do my job the way that I'm supposed to do it because that's what I was elected to do, and just follow the rules. That's what my job is. These are the rules. Make sure that everybody's following the rules. Apply the rules equally to everybody. It's really unfortunate, and but sometimes it doesn't happen often, but sometimes it does happen. I just really hate that. I really do.
That's really messed up.
It is.
But
It is.
what advice would you give to students who are first generation college students and aspire to pursue careers in law or other professional fields?
You can do it.
Mhm.
Um, Drown out any negativity, any voices around you. I don't care who it's coming from. That's casting doubt on your goals and what you're saying you're going to do. I remember someone telling me when I was expressing interest in going to law school, it's like, you're not going to go to school for that many years. Like, it's college, 4 years of college plus 3 years of law school. Like, you are not. And it was someone I was dating at the time,
Oh my God.
long time ago, but you are not going to school for 7 years. And I was like, well, why would you say that? And I remember being so upset. But I use stuff like that as my motivation. That's not the reason why I did it, because I had already planned to do it in the first place. But like, okay, watch this. So there will be people that will either intentionally or unintentionally just plant, just they're just sometimes people are just negative. They didn't do it, so they don't want you to do it, or they just want to discourage you, and they may not even mean to discourage you, or maybe they do mean to discourage you. Either way, ignore it. So my advice would be thankful for the people that support you, ignore everyone that doesn't support you, and you can do it whether people support you or not. Everybody is part of the plan. There's a meme or something I saw that said something like, even the haters are part of the plan. Okay, everybody plays serves a purpose, whether it's to excel you, but ask questions, work hard, forget everybody who has something to say that's not supportive of you. I don't care who's not supporting you. You go out there. If you're set on doing something, you can get it done. As long as you are motivated and as long as you want to do it, that's all you need. It's great
Mhm.
if you have a team behind you. It's great if you have cheerleaders because they make you feel good about what you're doing. But even if you don't, so what? You can still do it. You can still do it. If you There's no like, now, we have the internet now. That's, there was a time when I was coming up. Now I sound old. Where we couldn't just Google stuff and look at our phones and have access to information. And so now there's really no excuse for not, if you don't want to ask a question, you can probably find it online, the information that you
Mhm.
need. Don't be afraid to pick up your phone and call people. Don't be afraid to reach out to people who are in the career that you're wanting to get into, just to say, hey, you know, I'm in high school or I'm in college and I would like to be a blank one day. Can you have a few minutes to tell me how you got started? Do you mind? I think most people would be so flattered that you even asked, and most people
Yeah.
are so willing to help. You'd be surprised at how much information you can get just by reaching out to someone and just asking a few questions. But most importantly, first generation students, you will be the first, but you will not be the last. So just work hard, be proud of everything that you have accomplished. Know that everything may not be perfect. It may not go the way that you thought. It may take a little longer than you thought, and that's okay. All of that is okay. As long as you arrive at your destination, it doesn't matter if other people got there before you and it's taking you longer. So what? So so what? You'll get there. Just keep going. And I really believe that when I was a new lawyer, I would get intimidated sometimes about, because there would be a lawyer on the other side of the case and they want to tell you, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this for 30 years, and here I am brand new. And one day I thought about it and I said, you know what? I'm brand new and you've been doing this for 30 years, yet here we are
In
working
the
on,
same
working on
place.
the same case. So at the end of the day, we ended up in the same place. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, you went to this school, I went to that school. Yet here we are working on the same case, doing the same thing. So you'll
Mhm.
reach your destination, as long as you are determined to get there and you're willing to work hard. Don't expect anybody to give you anything. If somebody gives you something, that's awesome. But if they don't, that's okay too. As long as you're willing to work hard and do what you have to do, you'll be successful. You will be successful. There's so many opportunities in this world if you just stay the course, don't get distracted, and don't give up. That sounds cliche. Do not give up. There's always going to be a challenge. One challenge you can't quit because of one challenge. What are you gonna do when you reach your destination and then you get challenged? You're gonna quit or you're gonna keep going. You just gotta learn to just work through your challenges and keep going. Just keep going.
That's
That's
true.
my advice. That's my advice. Just keep going.
I
I'm challenged every day. Still, it's my dream job. I still get challenged daily. I can't just pack up my office and say, "Oh, I'm done." You
I
know,
quit.
it doesn't work that way. You deal with your challenges however you deal with them, and then tomorrow is another day, and you just move forward, move on.
Yes, I agree. And I feel like it's pretty easy to get discouraged, especially if nobody around you has done it and nobody around you
Hmm.
knows the ropes or knows how to get to that place. But
Yep.
you have to remember why you even want to do it in the first place and be pretty strong headed, because whenever there's going to be people, even maybe in your family, that tell you, oh, you can't do it, there's no point in going to college, you don't got to do that, look, I turned out fine.
How you
No,
gonna pay for
you
it? You know
go.
how much it costs. Where you gonna get that money from? How you gonna buy this? How you gonna do? I mean, you will hear all of that. And
Yeah, you
you may
have
not
to
even
have a
know
very
how you're
strong.
gonna pay for it. You may not even know. So if you don't know and people are telling you that, it's so easy to just say, you know what, they're right. Because I don't even know. You don't have to know. Go figure it out. Go figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Figure it out. Borrow a book. Buy as many as you can. Buy one. Borrow one. Buy a used one. Figure it out. Okay. There is a solution. There is a solution. You just have to get creative and you have to figure out how to make it work. You can do it. You can do it.
Yes, that's very true.
Hmm.
Don't give up.
Definitely don't give up. Definitely. Then it's so easy to give up. It's so easy to just say, you know what, I'm done with this. I'll go do something else. And a lot of people do that. Don't do that because no matter what you're doing, life is gonna life, and things are going to happen. And you will be thankful in the end that you just stayed the course and did what you set out to do.
And 4 years is going to pass either way, with a degree or without a degree.
Hello, that's exactly right. With or without, those 4 years will pass either way. You're surely right about that. You are surely right about
Yeah.
that.
So pick
Mhm.
which one.
Exactly, because either way, in a few years, it's gonna be 2028. So no matter what, so you're gonna have your degree, or be on the path of your degree, or still sitting up mad because somebody told you you couldn't do it.
Yep.
And the people that tell you can't do it, they'll be so happy that you didn't do it, so they can say, "I told you. I told you. I knew he wasn't gonna do it. I knew she wasn't gonna do it."
That is very
Yeah,
true.
like just either way. So just do what you have to do. There are a lot of resources and a lot of information available these days. So much information available these days. So many people who have already gone down this road, who would be willing to help. So just reach out to people, and that'll take you a long way.
Yeah. Okay. This is one of the last
Okay.
questions. Voting in politics is very important. What is a good way for teens to gain knowledge about law?
Well, I can tell you that aside from just researching and trying to stay current on current events, find people. You know what? Look at your ballot and see locally where you live. Look and see who's on your ballot. People always focus on, when you talk about voting, everybody thinks of like the president. Okay. Well, you're probably not going to see Joe Biden or Donald Trump walking around your local community anytime soon. But the people that are on your ballot closer to the bottom, your judges, your sheriffs, your state representatives, your congressmen, you might see them in HEB, or
Hmm.
because they live in your neighborhood. You have they're more accessible, and so if you're wanting to learn and get involved, start with those people. There's a saying that, like, the what is it, like, the further down on the ballot, the closer it is to your front door. Like, the people at the bottom. I'm in my neighborhood all the time. My kids run track. I'm out at the track on Saturdays at HEB grocery shopping like everybody else. People can get to me. Like, people are accessible. I'm not in Washington, D.C., unreachable. And so I would say, for teens who are wanting to learn more, start with local people in your community, right where you live, there are elected officials right in your city who would open welcome you with open arms to come in and shadow them, um, attend seminars where they're speaking to teach you things. They are all everybody that I know. I can at least speak for Fort Bend County. Anyone that I can think of, whether it's a judge, a commissioner, law enforcement, a sheriff, a constable, a state rep, congressman, all these people will be more than willing to assist you, to teach you, to give you information if you just reach out. If you don't reach out, we don't know that you want to know. The
Mm-hmm.
one, how would I know, that you, how would I know that you're interested if you don't tell me? And so if you just reach out to these people, gosh, there's just so much information available to you. But start by just paying attention to what's going on around you. There are so many different elections going on that people, and don't feel bad because adults don't, not adults, but like older people who probably should know, they don't even know, that there are certain elections happening. Your ballot is online. You just type in your address and you can see who's running for what. You can look up these people. All these people have social media, email. Some of them have their phone number online, and they're saying, hey, if you want to learn more about me, reach out. If you would like to work on my campaign, send an email right here. And so the information is there, the opportunities are there. You just have to take advantage of the opportunities
That's true.
and get
Yeah.
involved. If your school has a club, I don't know, if your school has a club, or get involved. If they don't, start one so that like-minded people can get together, and then you all can go through this experience together. You all can learn together. You can work in elections. You can work on campaign, volunteer on campaigns. Y'all can go vote together if you're 18. There are things that you can do together. You just have to get involved. You just have to get involved.
Yeah, the biggest way now is through social media, but it's so hard because it's a lot of misinformation on
Oh
social.
my gosh, there's so much That's why, and it's hard to filter through all that, and don't feel bad because so many people of all ages, from all walks of life, they get all their information from like memes. They do. It was like, well, it was on a meme, so it must be true. I saw it on TikTok. It must be true. And
Yeah.
some of it might be true, but a lot of it is not true. So the best way is to find out for yourself. Um, if something doesn't sound right, look it up. If I see something on social media that gives me pause, before I even share it or repeat it, I'm like, let me go look this up because this is, I don't know about this. And usually when I look it up, it turns out that what I saw that didn't sound right wasn't true in the first place. So just, open up a different browser, just look it up. And then if in doubt, again, locally, there are so many people around you in your local community who are elected officials who are doing this every day, especially your state representatives and your people in Congress who are out here, they're making laws and they're doing this. Go talk to them.
Mhm.
They're always, this is what they do. They're always willing to, especially a young person who's interested in learning more and getting involved. Like, they would be so excited to talk to y'all. So you just have to reach out, put a group together, and say, "Hey, I have a group of friends. We're trying to do this," and they will definitely make it happen. I see it all the time. They'll make it happen. Come down to the courthouse if you're interested in a career in law. I can speak for most judges in this building. They would welcome you just to come down and watch or intern or things of that nature. But if you don't reach out and you don't take that first step, how would we even know that you were interested?
That's true.
Mhm.
I heard that you guys actually have an internship this summer. It's
So
pretty
the county has a youth employment program. The application opens in the spring. It closed in March. This is for the
cool.
paid internship now. I think that you can always intern for free. uh, those are always available, of course, but the one that actually pays, it's for 8 weeks in the summer. You have to be from age 16 to 21. You have to live in Fort Bend County. And that's pretty much the only requirements. Age 16 to 21, you have to be enrolled in school, whether that's high school, college, whatever. You have to be enrolled. You have to be a student.
Mhm.
But so you can intern in many different parts of the county. So once they hire those interns, I think last year they hired 100. The year before, I think it was 200, and then they ended up cutting it down to 100. But some of them intern. I had two last summer who had just graduated high school. They both had just graduated that May. They interned in the courts. They interned at the sheriff's department, the tax office, at the parks department, human resources. I mean, you name it. Like all they send these interns to just all over the county, and it's a great experience because you'll know like kind of like one of my interns was like, yeah, I definitely don't want to be a lawyer. But that's good because sometimes you need to know what you don't like. You need to do something to realize that you don't like it. And so those are good opportunities. Usually, our county judge will post it when it's available online. But again, you can reach out to me or anyone else to say, hey, can you let me know? I usually will post it when the application period opens. And then you just go from there. But there's also unpaid internships that are available this summer as well. But the paid ones that application has closed, but it'll open again next spring.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, come see. You don't. It doesn't have to be in the courthouse. It can be anywhere. I mean, the interns go all over the place, but it's good insight, and you get paid. It's for 8 weeks, and it's good insight on county government. And if you'll find something you love, or at least know what you don't like, and you can check those things off the list. You don't have to waste your time doing it in a few years. You already know you don't like it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, for the last thing, do you have any upcoming events or things that you would like to share with the viewers?
I do not have any events coming up anytime soon for myself,
Mhm.
but I will tell if there's anyone interested in, in the future and anything that I may host or anything that I may do or just kind of keep up with me. Just follow me on social media, Judge Khalid Morgan on Facebook and on Instagram. I will post when I have something. I will most certainly I'll post it to death to make sure that everybody sees it. So you won't if you follow me, you definitely won't miss it. My website is on linked to both of my pages, so you can learn a little bit more about me if you're interested. But for sure, following on social media, and I'll let you know when there's something going on.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Judge
Thank
Khalid
you
Morgan,
for
for coming.
having me. This was awesome. I really appreciate
Of
this. Your podcast is excellent. Like I said, my daughters and I, we were kind of clicking through some of the videos because they're like, "Who is she?" I have daughters. My daughters are 13 and 10, so they're like, "Who is she? Let me see."
Aw.
They were really curious, like, "Who are you talking to?" So we were looking, and I said, "This is awesome. This is you're like I can tell that you will be doing great things in life. The fact that you have even the platform, all your activities. We looked you up, girl. Like everything that you're doing, your platform, your just your sheer drive and innovation, and even creating this show is amazing. And so, this is something to be proud of. I commend you for it. Just keep up the good work, and I'm gonna look up in a few years and like, oh my gosh, I remember her.
Thank you so much.
I'll be sending you a message one day like, "Do you remember me? I came on
Thank
the
you.
show back in 2024." So don't
Yes,
forget.
I'm gonna remember you.
Yeah, don't forget about me. When you get up to the top, girl, because I know that you're going places. I can look at all that you have done and just I know that you will do so many great things in life. So just stay the course. Stay the course.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. This was fun. And, if anyone's watching, especially a budding attorney, um, reach out if you have questions. I mean it when I say that. I'm not just saying it. Reach out if you have questions along the way. I am more than willing to help you. And if I don't know the answer, I will definitely connect you with someone who can help you.
Yes, never be afraid to ask. Never.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Have a nice day.
All right, you too. Bye, y'all. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.